All right, peace and blessings. May the 22nd, the year 2018, Tuesday, and we're continuing on with the free Lazor affidavits. Sworn affidavit of Pamela K. Robinson, related PF Lazor rescue of injured victim. January the 5th of 1994. I, Pamela K. Robinson, hereby affirm that the following is true and correct. 1. In the summertime of 1983, PF Lazor visited me in Palo Alto while on bail pending trial for shooting an intruder in his Los Gatos home. 2. PF and I were returning from a leisurely bicycle ride when a very large truck crashed head-on with a small car in a busy intersection we had just crossed. 3. Like an impulsive, immediate reaction before anyone else responded, PF dropped the bicycle and ran into the intersection to an injured girl at the wheel of the car. She was described as deep in shock, incoherent, and covered in blood. PF oriented her, calmed and gently restrained her until reassured that she could maintain alone. He then ran to a nearby phone and summoned police and an ambulance, who had not yet been called, then ran back to the traumatized driver and stayed with her until the trained personnel arrived. PF then promptly left the vicinity and we continued on our way. Number 4. No one else responded to the injured person or phoned for help. PF did so as a spontaneous reaction before I was fully aware of what was happening. Afterward, he intimated that he wasn't fully conscious of his actions, but just automatically reacts instinctively to minimize jeopardy in a sudden emergency. It wasn't until after the intense moments had passed that he was able to assess the details of what occurred and what he did in the emergency. 5. As soon as professional assistance arrived, PF had no inclination to linger at the scene, not even to bring credit to himself or to be thanked for his actions. I affirm by this sworn affidavit under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of California, that the foregoing statements are true and correct according to my own personal knowledge. Dated January the 3rd, 1984, Pamela K. Robinson. You know, rather than make these 4 videos, I'm just going to read all 4 of them into one video. This is the sworn affidavit of Bryan Hepp, related citizen rescue efforts by PF Lazor. I, Bryan Hepp, swear that the following is true and correct. During the year before PF Lazor was arrested for a shooting in his Los Gatos house in 1983, the following incident occurred when PF assisted my mother by picking me up across the San Francisco Bay. It was late at night, and just after crossing the Dumbarton Bridge into Newark, we spotted a man in front of a bar dragging a woman by her hair down the sidewalk. She was screaming, kicking, and struggling to get loose as we were driving by. PF immediately stopped the car, pulled over, and without hesitation he jumped out and ran towards them, yelling at the man to let the lady go. Both the man and the woman then began yelling at PF to get lost and mind his own business. So PF backed off but waited at the car. As soon as it seemed certain that the woman was not in any serious danger and earnestly didn't want help, PF proceeded to drive me home to Fremont. I observed from this incident that PF was willing to risk his own safety to save a disadvantaged stranger who was being victimized. PF had nothing to defend himself with and expressed an awareness that the man may have been armed and dangerous, and also that PF wasn't interested in butting into anyone's personal business, leaving without hesitation as soon as he was assured that his help was not wanted or needed, and there was no real danger for the victim. Over many years, I have observed PF Lazor in many different kinds of situations, and I've always known him to strictly seek peaceful solutions to conflicts and to speak out against criminal activities and violence while proposing lawful, socially acceptable solutions to such social problems. I swear and affirm under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of California, that the foregoing is true and correct according to my own knowledge and observations. If called as a witness, I am competent to testify as above. December the 29th, 1994, Bryan Hepp. Okay, we're going to go on to the next one here. The next one is Charles Sieting on January the 6th of 1994. Sworn affidavit of Charles J. Sieting, PF's Lazor influence in peacekeeping. I, Charles J. Sieting, solemnly swear and affirm that the following facts are true and correct. 1. As a youthful adult, PF Lazor Mr. P.F. Lazor lived with my family on a very large, secluded farm in the country of Michigan. Well, I think it means in the state. Home firearms were then commonly accepted and even sometimes a necessity in this secluded farm life. Number 2. Late one night, prowlers armed with rifles toting cans of gasoline were spotted by myself and P.F. When they showed serious aggression, I got a shotgun for protection while P.F. tried to verbally ward off their aggression. However, they wouldn't stop advancing toward P.F. until I chambered a round. Number 3, P.F. and I both acknowledged how the reality of the situation was more intense and alarming than we would have thought hypothetically. Nonetheless, faced with this circumstance, P.F. did not resort to also taking up a gun, and he was instrumental in there being no shots taken at any person. He displayed a demeanor of tactful calm and courage under fear. He didn't even wish to pursue or seek punishment for the menacing prowlers, but expressed his content that the situation was diffused and remained peaceful without anyone getting injured. 4. Had P.F. Lazor not been present to influence the tense circumstances with his calm demeanor and peaceful attitude, there is a good chance that someone may have been seriously injured or even killed by gunfire that night. I solemnly swear and affirm under penalty of perjury of the laws of Michigan and California that the foregoing statements are true and correct according to my own personal knowledge and observation. Charles Sieting. He's a member of the Michigan National Guard since 1980, including sergeant, platoon sergeant, and equipment section chief, business owner, member of local school board. All right. This next one is MarlenevHepp. And this is the last one. MarlenevHepp on May the 8th of 2011. Parole hearing support letter for inmate Free Lazor, C-73842. Dear BPH Parole Desk, my name is MarlenevHepp. I am a realtor and have been since 1977, at which time I met Free Lazor. I noticed him because of his influence. I noticed him because of his business ethics and how quickly he got his business going as a new realtor and shortly thereafter as an entertainer with his popular Buddy Holly and the Pickett Show. Watching him help people and succeeding in his personal and business ventures is how I gain so much respect for him. First as an acquaintance and then as a business partner, good friend, and he soon become like family to me and my 2 young sons. My sons looked up to him as a male role model. Their father abandoned them when they were very young. Free was a big brother and maybe more a surrogate father. Again, devastation for my kids was when he was ripped out of their lives. I am aware of several incidences where Free acted with heroism in helping in sudden dangerous circumstances where people's lives and his own was in possible jeopardy. I am aware that a man lost his life because of Free, and he is always suffering in his head about what he did to save himself from being killed. I know without a shadow of a doubt that Free did what he had to do to save himself. If that door was not locked properly, Allred would have kicked it open faster and killed Free Lazor. He has served 28 years of a 15-year sentence. Time served. Please let him out. Please let him out. I guarantee him employment. I guarantee him employment with one or both of my 2 businesses and a home here in California or Washington. He will be a valued, productive citizen wherever he lives. I know PF very well, better than most of his friends and some of his family. Not as a girlfriend, as a caring friend that will always love and respect him. He is not anything like the profile that prison records indicate, and I cannot imagine how he is able to deal with prison life with his good-natured free spirit and love of life being constantly stifled. Let our man of inspiration to all be free. I hereby attest and confirm, subject to penalty of perjury, that all I have stated here is true and correct, based on my own personal experience and knowledge. MarlenevHepp. You know, Free has some wonderful friends. If you were thrown in prison, do you think you could get people to write things like this? I think Free needs to be set free.